Everyone, it's your boy MMA Flying Squid, and we are back for another fight prediction video. And this week we do have a good one, but first let me address some things. All right, so the White House card was the first stream that I put up there, the first video that I put up. So as you all probably noticed, I had my screen reversed, so we're gonna start by making sure that doesn't happen again. All right, right now we're looking good. We can read the names. Before it was a little weird. I felt a little autistic trying to watch that video, but it's all good. We're back. Outside of that, I was going to jump in and do a video for the McGregor fight, and man, am I happy I didn't, because I would have been pretty disappointed on that one. But that's in the past. We're going to put that behind us. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start shooting these videos more often, every single fight event, all right? I had a little lull there. I'm sorry, but we're back. We are back. Let's go. I do got to give a shout out to my boy AJ there. He's got an MMA channel, and, you know, he kind of had to stoke the flames a little bit there to get the fire going, but I'm in it. I'm ready for this, all right? All right, so we got Dracus du Plessis versus Kamara. I should also say, on my last video, I had a bunch of notes. I was way over prepared. I'm doing none of that. This is right off the top of the dome, right off the script. Plus, I've changed so many times on my picks here that it really doesn't matter, to be honest. I don't really need to have anything down. I've been going back and forth on some of these a lot this week, so let's get into it. Anyway, all right, so starting off, we have Urza Elliott versus Damian Anderson. I watched the fight tape on both of these guys, and I'm actually excited for this fight. Really excited. I'll be honest, I didn't really know these guys before, but after looking into both of them, I think this is going to be a banger fight. They're both really good dudes. I do think, though, the advantage, if I had to lean either way, is going to be towards Elliott. I'm going to go with Elliott. I think he's going to be just a little bit cleaner. I think Damian will be a little more reckless, and I think Elliott's going to have a little bit of an advantage on the feet there. They're both really good on the ground, both really good submission artists, but I think Elliott's going to get this one done. Plus, one of the fight tapes I watched actually while he's fighting on the regional scene is he just fucked this dude up that's from the town that I live in, so that was pretty cool to see. That was fun. Anyway, I'm going to go with Urza Elliott for this one. And even though we don't have any odds updated on here, I think he's a slight underdog right now. So if anyone wants to throw a little money on that, I would jump on that one. But up next, we have a women's flyweight bout here. We got Anna Melisano versus Dion Barbosa. And just saying these names, you guys are going to realize how retarded I am. But I'm going to keep trying. We'll see how this goes. For this one here, I went back, I watched some of Anna's fight tape there on the regional scene. The problem with it is she hasn't really fought anyone UFC level yet, even watching some of those fights. You know, she was going the distance with people that I just don't think would last in the UFC, where Barbosa's been in there for a little bit there. She doesn't have the best record, but she has some losses. But there were to some good opponents, and she does have some good wins too. Let's look at her last couple fights here, actually. What did we got here? Kind of blanking out. I wasn't too excited for the women's fights this week, I'll be completely honest here. Yeah, so she beat Gatto. I remember that. Okay, loss. Yeah, kind of that win-loss. Oh, hopefully we don't hit that loss here, but I think they got it right, honestly, with the odds here. I think her being a minus 600 is probably the smart decision. I think she's going to win. I could actually, if I had to call it, Brazil chick, probably submission. We're going to go with submission here. But we're going to get past this one. I'm not too excited about that. There's a couple that we're going to have to get through, so just bear with me, okay? Bear with me here. Next, we got RJ Harris versus Alvin Hines. This is one of the ones where I did go back and forth a bunch of times on. So I watched Alvin Hines' last fight there, and he had a decent fight. He did, dude. He was brawling that whole time, and he was able to take shots. Now, there is one stipulation with that, and that's one thing I don't like, is he did also, I hear he got popped maybe for some steroids there. Did that play a factor into the durability? Probably. But I'm not going to look too much into that just because he did look more like a natural brawler and fighter than when I watched RJ Harris. I don't know. Something about him I didn't like. All fights on the regional scene, not really fighting anyone good. He is a big, tall heavyweight, but I don't know. He he looked a little too soft for my liking there. A little, definitely softer than Alvin Hines, but I don't know. I could see Alvin pulling this one through. Um, there was a fight that he had too. I'm trying to remember who was it, man. I want to say like Greg Hardy or someone where he went 5 rounds with just some dude that you shouldn't win 5 rounds with. So for that, I'm gonna go with Alvin Hines. I think he is going to win this one. Um, I want to say probably for sloppy decision. Even though it's heavyweights, I hate doing that. Sloppy decision. All right. And then next year on every single card, we always have to have a death bout. I don't know why they do this. They always find like one dude that they just want to absolutely destroy. And that's what we got here. We got Alden Cormier versus Stuart Nickel. And for this one, the odds really say it all. Dude, Stuart Nickel is going down. He's going to die. I don't know why they're doing this to him. He's 0-3 in the UFC, and then they put him against a dude who's actually on a pretty good tear. A dude who's actually beaten dudes that were beating the shit out of Nickel. So, like, what are we doing here, man? Sometimes you get these people in, and you think the UFC absolutely hates them and just wants to send them to their grave. I think that's exactly what we got going on in this bout here. I think Alden is he's going to be the more physical dude. He's going to be the faster dude. He's got some really nice combinations. He's going to be ripping to the body. Although Stuart Nickel does have decent hands, I will say that. They always put him against someone who just has better hands. It's just that simple. So I don't see how he's not going to win this fight, but you never know. I've been wrong a lot of times, but I'm going to go with Alden. He's had some pretty sick fights. I really started to like this dude. Up next, we got Levi Rodriguez Jr. versus Felipe Franco. With this one, even though MMA math says I should pick Levi, they both, I'm pretty sure, they both fought the same dude, I think, on the Contender Series there. And Levi destroyed the dude where Franco didn't. So that would make you think that Levi would win, but they like to stack these cards up, I guess, with people that are of the same flock, I guess, and also got busted for substance abuse. And Felipe Franco actually had a decent fight in his last fight. Pretty sure, was it Pinto? I'm almost positive it was. Let me see. Yeah. All 3 rounds with him. I think Franco's going to be able to get this one. I'm going to go with Franco. He is a slight underdog, so hey, you want to throw a little money on him? Perfect pick. But I'm going to go with Franco. I think Franco is going to be, I think he's a little more athletic, a little more well-rounded fighter, not a cheater. And I think he's going to be able to get this one done. Up next, we got Jean Paul versus Ko. Now, this one, originally, I was going to pick Jean Paul. I do like him a lot. But then as I was watching some of Ko's fights and just the competition overall that he's fought and who he's beating and the streak that he's on right now, I think it's going to be a Ko domination. He is an elite grappler. I think he's going to be able to work his way through the exchanges, get into the clinches there, and take down Jean Paul. Ko completely dominated Philip Rowe, where Jean Paul went all 3 rounds with him. So I think that's one thing to keep in mind there. And especially with Ko kind of proven that even if you are a striker, I can still get into you and take you down, like he has in his previous fights here. I mean, Oban Elliott, I'm pretty sure. Rowe, yeah, look at this. Yeah, we got Oban Elliott, we got Rowe. Him going in and beating both of those dudes shows that, like, even if you're a high-level striker, you're not going to be able to keep him at bay. So I would not be too worried about Jean Paul being able to do that. And I think this is going to be a great one for South Korea. I hear he's a star already in South Korea, so I think this is just going to be that much better for him. I think they're lining him up with a really good fight here to get a really nice win and then maybe get a ranked opponent or something after this. Up next, this one here I'm super excited for. We got Austin Bashi versus Jose Miguel Delgado. And for this one, I'm going to go with Delgado. I just think he is the dog, man. He does damage when he fights. Bashi's really good. He is an elite grappler, really, really high-level wrestling. The only thing with that is I think Delgado is well-rounded enough to prevent a lot of those shots that he's going to be shooting on him. When he does get taken down, too, he does a really good job of working himself back up. He's not going to be a guy that just sits there on the ground. So Bashi's not going to be able to just control him the whole time. Delgado's going to make it dirty. He's going to be throwing knees up the middle, uppercuts up the middle. everything basically that you don't want to get hit by if you're shooting in on someone or trying to clinch up with them. So I think Jose is really going to pull this off, and he's fought in some really high level competition. Bashi's a little bit newer in the UFC here. He doesn't have too many fights. I believe he only has 2 fights in the UFC. Let's just double check that. He does. Yep, 2 fights. 1-1, 2. The Christian Rodriguez one, that was kind of like a little weird because that dude somehow always beats guys he's not supposed to beat. So we won't hold that too much against him. Also, always tends to beat young wrestlers. I noticed that. But I think Delgado's got that this one. I'm going to go with Delgado. I could see like a either going to decision, or I could see a late round stoppage, like 3rd round stoppage. I could see that for Delgado, just wearing down Bashi after he's, shooting the takedown, slowly getting tired, getting beat up, bloodied. We're going to go with Delgado. Next fight is going to be Tommy McMillan versus Alberto Montez. All right, so we got Sean O'Malley versus Ilya here. And you know what? We're just going to keep it rolling with the Sean O'Malley camp. I already picked Elliott. We're going to go with McMillan too. At first, I was leaning towards Montez. I'm not going to lie. And that dude, he actually is a really good fighter. He does fight really well. He has nasty Darce chokes too. He's really, really a submission artist. But he can also stand and bang. So that was something that I was kind of keeping in mind. His fights looked a little more technical than Tommy McMillan's. But then I had to kind of go back and think. I saw both of his fights in the UFC there, or the Contender Series in the UFC. I had to go back and remember, like, this dude's also an elite wrestler. Really good wrestler. I think on the ground, he's going to be able to handle himself. Plus, we saw what his neck can do in that one fight when he was getting choked out. Basically doesn't get choked out at all. So I think that's going to take a lot away from Montez there. And I think on the feet, McMillan's going to hit a lot harder. He's... I'm sorry. I'm dying right here. Hold on. He's got a little more of that dog in him, though. And I see that really coming out. It'd be interesting to see how Montez deals with the pressure that McMillan's going to put on him. I was so hyped with Montez because his last fight was so clean, but then I had to remind myself it was Ricky Tercio that he fought, who I actually liked a lot. When he was coming up into the UFC, I was really hyped on him. And then I realized the dude fights wild, but he has 0 power. Like, he's going to have to hit someone 175 fucking times to hurt anyone. And the problem is he stands 10 feet away. So it's kind of hard for him to do that. Jeez. I'm choking over here. Tommy, don't do what I'm doing now. Do not do that this weekend, man. Don't choke. Might throw some bones on you there. I'm going to throw a couple bucks, but I'm a big fan of McMillan. It's the Tommy McMillan show, man. He's going to get it going on. He's going to win. He's going to get more hype going behind him. Who knows? He's going to pull up in a Lamborghini, something flashy. It's going to be awesome. Win. Yeah, let's go. He beat the bootleg Ilya. Ilya lost this year, too. Take him down. Everyone's got to crush my dreams. I know. I wanted Ilya to win. I'm so sorry. Stop reminding me. All right. Anyway, Tommy McMillan. He's going to win. Up next, actually a decent female fight. Tabitha Ricci versus Fatima Klein. I liked Tabitha Ricci for a while, and then I started realizing that maybe she's not as good as I thought she was. But the thing with the women's division is it just feels like it's been so so stationary for so long, like not a ton of new people coming in and just dominating, that she's somehow able to stay at number 8. But for this one, I think Fatima Klein, I mean, one, she's going to have the range definitely on her. I think she's going to be able to just outwork Ricci. I don't think Ricci's that good. Ricci's going to try to charge in and grapple up with her. I think Klein's going to have a little better footwork, staying away from her, circling around, piecing her up, striking her, chipping away at her. And I could actually honestly see Klein finishing her. Probably not. It'll probably go to decision. I feel like once you start getting into like top 10 women's MMA, right around there, it's just decision. But Fatima Klein, we're going to ride her out. I think she's definitely going to win. Okay, now we get into some picks that are going to be a little questionable here. I'm gonna go against everything in my gut, my instinct. I gotta go against it, dude. You've broke my heart so many times. But for our next fight, our lightweight bout, we got Chase Hooper versus Mitch Ramirez. And dude, I loved you, Chase Hooper. I was fucking hyping you up forever. Your jiu-jitsu is so elite, and then I realized that's all. Your jiu-jitsu is elite. If you get fucking hit, dude, you turn into spaghetti. I don't know what happens. You turn to like wet tissue paper instantly the second you get hit. It's nuts. And for that, dude, I've picked you so many times, and you've been losing to Lance Gibson Jr. What was that? What was that? How did you beat Jim Miller? It's fucked up. I hate this game. But anyway, I know he's a big favorite, man, but I can't trust him. I'm gonna go with Mitch Ramirez. I am. Even though everything's saying that Mitch Ramirez can't win, it just takes like a couple good shots and just not going to the ground. If you don't go to the ground with Chase Hooper, like you just don't go to the ground at all, you just get one shot off every minute and a half. Dance around, one shot. One of those light shots is going to drop this dude, and then you just pounce and it's over. So for that reason, I'm going to go against what everyone else is doing, and I'm going to pick Mitch Ramirez. Could look like a complete dumbass for that, but we're going to find out. We'll see what happens. All right, up here, I went back and forth on this one too. Jared Cannonier versus Christian Leroy Duncan. I'm going to have to go with Christian Leroy Duncan. I'm going to pick him. I wanted to pick Jared so bad. I was looking back at, obviously his fights, his record. The people that he lost to are good. They're good. And he's not getting, like, completely slimed out every single fight. He's losing a lot of decisions. And he's been in it forever. But just being 42 years old, being a little bit older. And then the other thing that I noticed is the people that he did lose to are really high-level strikers. Almost all of them can kind of point fight if need be. You got Izzy, you got Imavov, you got Michael Venom Page. And Christian Leroy Duncan is like that long-rangey striker, man. He's got his spinning attacks, spinning elbows. He's in and out. He's got these long-ass legs that he throws up. So I think if he can manage that distance really well and not get taken down and just completely grapple fucked, which I don't think he will, I think he's going to win this one. He showed that he could take those shots from RoboCop. Yeah, I'm going to have to change my mind. I really didn't want to do this. I love Jared, but man, I think this is going to be Christian Leroy Duncan. And then that brings us to our main event here. DDP versus Kamaru Usman. And for this one, everyone's going to hate me too. I know what everyone's saying. Dricus du Plessis, man. Pick him. He's going to smash Kamaru. He's going to destroy him. Dude, I'm going Kamaru. And I know what everyone's saying. Oh, don't pick him. Don't pick Usman. He was, when he was beating Kazma, it was only a 3-round fight. That's why. Yeah, but that's what actually hurt him. He started winning in the 3rd round. The first 2 rounds, he was like really shy, really hesitant. He was so worried about those shots. But the second that Chimaev started getting tired in that 3rd round, Usman was able to open up more, and he was landing on Chimaev. And if it was a 5-round fight, he actually started looking more comfortable in the 3rd round. He was going to pick it up and probably would have won. So I think it being a 5-round fight actually will help him get a little more comfortable in the fight. I think he's just so used to 5-round fights that that's what he benefits from. I don't think he knows really how to sprint for 3 rounds anymore, which sounds kind of crazy. But the one thing that I will say is the problem with that is DDP also has like an unlimited gas tank. The dude doesn't get tired. Like, even though he just got completely grapple fucked by Chimaev, he wasn't like exhausted. He just couldn't get up. He was just pinned. He didn't know what to do in that position, couldn't get out of it. It wasn't that he was too tired to stand up. If there was a 6th round and he could stand up, he would have ran across the cage and tried to throw again. So that is one thing. The other thing is the size. It could be clobbering time. I do see that. But man, I don't know. I just think Usman's gonna be... I think he's going to be able to mix in the grappling. He's going to be able to stand and strike when he needs to. But then he's also, if he does start to fall behind in the striking, I think that's when he can use his grappling to advantage, kind of start working DDP. Maybe he doesn't hold him down, but if he can get him down a couple times in one round, even out the strikes, I could really see Usman winning. I do think it's going to be decision. If DDP wins, it probably won't be a decision. I think he'll just knock out Usman or get like a TKO on him. But I'm going to go with Usman. I think he's going to win a decision. I think it's going to be a competitive match. But I think the old dog's got one more in him. Year of the Unks. This is the year of the Unks. He needs to pull it off for us. So that's what I got. I got those guys. You guys let me know who you got, who you think I got right, you think I got wrong. Let me know in the comments there. And MMA experts, I told you I'd throw this video up, man. AJ, I got you. I put it up for you. So I'll be out here every single week doing this as long as we got events. And let's just keep it rolling. And I know you guys love the Christmas tree in the back. I see our boy MMA Guru. Big fan of the channel, by the way, I heard. He got rid of his, so mine has to stay alive. When one dies, another lives. That's how it is.